Hey, what's up? In today's video, I need a break from making 20+ minute videos, and it's also been a while since I've made a video going over a Batman show. So today I'll be killing two birds with one stone.
Big rock.
Today I'll be talking about the episode Vendetta, which stars Killer Croc, and if you haven't seen any of my other videos going over Batman, I have one going over the time Ron Perlman voiced the character, and you can check that out by clicking up in the corner.
Tens of thousands of lives could be lost.
And I'll shed a crocodile tear for each and every one.
Even though these two episodes were made years and years and years apart, I still can't help but compare the two, and I'll be referencing events from that episode, so if you haven't watched my video going over it, I would go ahead and do that now and then come back to this video. It's not like required viewing or anything, but it would give you more of an idea of where I'm coming from in this video. I wanted to cover this episode because it's Batman the Animated Series firing on all cylinders. You get the atmosphere, the investigation, the comedy, just everything that makes Batman the Animated Series great. It just so happens that this will be my second video talking about Killer Croc. Anyway, we open this episode on a dark and stormy night following Spider Conway as he's being escorted to prison.
We're almost there, Conway.
Just keep your eyes open. Something could still happen.
We learn that he's about to turn rat and give up some very high value targets. This is one of the main reasons why I love this episode. The story is very much a crime noir, and what is Batman if not a crime noir themed superhero? The prison transport gets interrupted when a mysterious arm reaches out of the ocean and plants a bomb on the side of the boat and makes off with Conway. Batman was watching this whole thing go down, and after the police clear out, he starts his own investigation. While there is some action at the end of this episode, most of it is a mystery Batman is trying to solve and not knock out, and it's my preferred Batman. While searching the docks, Batman comes across a spliff and he knows where to go next. We then get the iconic Batman on a ledge outside a window listening into the conversation when Commissioner Gordon is telling Bullock that he has to take a leave since he's too close to the case.
What kind of fucking jive is this, Jim? You know what I had to go through just to get Conway out of Stonegate.
This piques Batman's interest, so he makes his way into the record room and procures Harvey's file. While there is background music, a lot of the episode is slow and quiet, and it builds the atmosphere of suspense and conspiracy. We learn that Bullock was suspected of accepting bribes from Rupert Thorne, the local crime boss, the same Rupert Thorne Conway was about to snitch on. The plot thickens. We're then transported to an underwater cave where Conway is being held.
Hey, anybody here?
No stranger to you and me.
Killer Croc shows up, and we get to see a little more than just an arm, but he's still covered in shadows, and it's great at keeping the character intimidating, especially when he's just kind of a gray dude with some lumps and bumps.
What can I tell you?
It ain't easy being cheesy.
Catching back up with Rupert, we see him working on his rooftop greenhouse when he's visited by Batman. While Batman is trying to put the pressure on Rupert, his goons come up and we get an absolute mic drop of a line.
Oh, I got plenty of answers. 38 caliber answers.
This scene is great, especially when Batman starts to play along, taking Rupert as a human shield, saying it's too hot in here and they need to get some air before taking Rupert to the edge. After swinging around the city like Spider-Man, Rupert tells the Bat that he wasn't worried about anything Conway had to say, and he was so low on his radar that blowing up the boat wouldn't be worth the attention. Batman and Gordon go for a walk on the beach to talk about life, and I haven't brought this up until now, but Bruce really has a Stan Smith chin in this episode.
Good morning, USA.
Batman is telling Gordon that he thinks Bullock was behind the bombing, and Gordon tells him that even though Bullock is an asshole, he's also good police. Batman then finds a scale at the wreckage, and the plot thickens even more. We then cut to the police station where Croc, dressed as Bullock, is trying to get his hands on another jailhouse snitch.
Joey the Snail, brought in last night on a 605. Right.
Croc as Bullock is genuinely unsettling, like the complete shadow only getting broken by a set of glowing eyes. Like, dude looks like the guy the DARE officer warned you about.
Hi, I'm Venus Williams, and I want to talk to you about believing in yourself, about your dreams. Hold on.
Also, Joey the Snail was arrested for a 605, which in the California Penal Code is when someone maliciously removes any monument erected for the purpose of designating any point in the boundary of any lot or tract of land or a piece where telegraph lines are. So, like, dude stole or destroy a sign? You'd expect a bank robbery or something, not this Vito Jr. bullshit.
Look like a Puerto Rican whore. Make me sick.
Also, when the officer is checking the fake Bullock's clearance, Croc literally breaks the rules with his body.
Disrespect your surroundings!
Also, like, it's a kid's show, so they're not dying, but a couple of rewrites, and this story could be a crime thriller. We then cut back to Batman in his cave looking into the scale that he found, and these next couple of minutes are golden. First, we have Alfred telling Bruce that his soup is in a microwavable crock, which, like, no. Who the actual fuck says crock? You'd say microwavable bowl or something like that. But this gives Bruce the idea that he could be looking for a reptile. Then, Bruce almost sucks Alfred's cock over this revelation, and then finally we cut to Bruce at the zoo learning about crocodiles, and at this point I lost my shit.
Crocodiles make their lairs in underwater caves.
Of course.
Like, Mans has a whole supercomputer and is the world's greatest detective, but has to go listen to a mid-30s pothead with great calves and khakis talk at the zoo to figure out his next move. After all these shenanigans are over, we see Batman making his way to Croc's secret cave. After untying the criminals, Croc comes out and makes his full appearance before beating the absolute shit out of Bruce. And it must be like a requirement to have Batman almost drowning if it's a Killer Croc episode. It happens here, it happens in the other episode I talked about, and I'm pretty sure it happens in the Arkham games too.
I can smell you.
After breaking free, Batman ties up Croc and we get a great bit of visual comedy when the criminals are making a run, or rather swim for it, and Batman drags them back into the cave so he can tie him up. Later in the night, we see Bruce doing some research on the man Croc, and his origin story has been pretty much different every appearance he makes, and here I thought he was just gonna be some creature that came out of nowhere, but he was actually a famous wrestler.
See? He started out a carnival sideshow attraction.
That's what they're saying, but he was clearly gay.
Yeah, he would use gay.
He was
he
gay.
Would use being.
The mind games were pretending he was gonna fuck them.
Yeah,
that was the mind
of course.
game. Yeah.
Not only was he famous, but he had also been in Gotham for a while doing petty crime before getting arrested by Bullock. And I'm just sitting here thinking, how the fuck did Bruce not know about this guy? Like, he decided he was going to be Batman and clean up the city, and he doesn't think to look into all the criminals he might meet along the way. And he was totally unaware that a human-reptile hybrid was incarcerated at his local penitentiary. That would be news. Big news. Anyway, I got a little off track there. Back to the episode. Bruce's plan is to make Croc come.
I'll have to make him come.
We then cut to Bullock as he's leaving the courthouse, and after getting into his car, Croc also hops in. After telling Bullock that he Shawshanked his way through the sewers, Croc puts his best Macho Man Randy Savage voice on and tells Bullock about his evil plan.
I wanted you to sweat it out in a cell for a while like I did.
to know what it feels like the way I do.
This is interrupted when Batman springs out of the back seat and almost causes a pileup on the I-9. This causes the fight to move where else but the sewers, and Bruce makes his way through poop water to find the final fight. I talked about this in my other video about Killer Croc, but spaces like sewers and utility areas I've always found to be atmospheric, and this sewer set is no exception. This episode is so great that Croc drops a line from Scooby-Doo when Batman's telling him that he's figured everything out.
And you impersonated Bullock at the jail.
And it would have gone down smooth if you hadn't butted in. But hey, I'm adaptable.
This ending fight is fine. Like, there's suspense and action and all the accoutrements, but this episode was never really about the fighting, so I'm not gonna hold the standard fight against the episode. We get one last scene of Batman almost drowning before he pins Croc to some bricks, and while getting himself down, Croc causes a cave-in. We end this episode with Batman being met with Bullock and a gun.
Turn on the TV, they hit the Pentagon! They hit the fucking Pentagon!
Nah, it really ends with Batman giving his lesson of the day and serving Croc up on a silver platter. Bullock can't be seen as soft, so he really goes ham on the press interview.
How does it feel to be formally cleared of all charges now that Killer Croc Morgan has been arrested?
That was really bad.
While this episode is great, and I've just spent many minutes trying to explain why I feel this way, really, you just need to look at what Bruce Timm said about this episode. It has a lot of stupid stuff in it. It's one of those shows that works purely on a visceral level. It's well staged and the animation is good. It's really moody. Also, while I was talking shit on him being a pro wrestler, the original plan was far more wacky. Originally, Killer Croc's first story was going to be his origin story, which would have been greatly different from his origins of the comics. He would have been an animal trader who was bitten by a lizard, giving him a disease that mutates him into Killer Croc, who then tries to create an army of sewer gators that would terrorize Gotham. But obviously this story was just too far-fetched. The ending fight was also supposed to be in an abandoned sea world where Croc would find his way into a tank of electric eels. And while I love me a good sewer, it would have been cool to see something different for the character. Like, in pretty much every adaptation he lives in the sewers, so after a while it just gets a little boring. This episode is still great, and honestly it's all because of the atmosphere. Like the dark and stormy night and the mystery of who's kidnapping these criminals with the investigation that Batman does just makes for a great time. I said this earlier and I'll say it again, my favorite Batman is the detective Batman and not the cage fighter. It's a big reason why, besides having 4 endings, I still like the 2022 Batman movie with Robert Pattinson. Anyway, I think I've spent enough time talking about this episode for now, so I'll go ahead and run through the ending credits. Thank you for watching my video, and if you like this video, I have a playlist on my channel with all the videos I have going over Batman, and you can check that out by clicking up in the corner. Also, I have a podcast I co-host with Arnie King called Henny for Your Thoughts, and we upload new episodes every 2 weeks.
Salute, salute.
We all doing the same thing, but we're doing something different.
Got it.
Alaikum salam. Alhamdulillah. Out to all my brothers, all that.
Praise Allah.
Praise Allah.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Praise Jesus.
I don't even know they do all that.
Shabbat shalom. Praise Jesus. Alhamdulillah.
I love God. That's it.
No, I'm telling y'all, whatever God y'all follow, hey man, praise to y'all God too, not just mine, because everybody's religion is fucking something different.
Also, if you want to show your support and get behind the scenes updates, you can follow me on Patreon. Also, I always forget to plug this, but follow me on Instagram at PimTurkey69. It's the only social media I'm active on. Until next time, later.